Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, it's Desiree again, and I'm back for day number 2 and lesson number 2 for setting up a simple blog using Blogger by Google. I'm going to go over the administrative things first, once again, like I did yesterday, just for people who may only be able to tune in today so that they will have the information like everyone received yesterday. So this course, we started out on May 4th, which was yesterday, Monday. It's a 5-day course. It does run through May 8th, 2015, which is Friday. And the blog broadcast will be on Blog Talk Radio. And you can reach Blog Talk Radio in my site by going to blogtalkradio.com, Rich and Rich Home Opportunities. You can access the program by dialing in at 347-989-0356 at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Each time I complete the actual broadcast, I will also be posting that information on my 2 blogs daily after the show, and those you can find on richandrichentrepreneurs.biz. And the second one is richandrichhomeopportunitiesbiz.blogspot.com. Questions can be asked daily, and they can be posted on either blog by actually making a comment with your question, and I will answer those questions as quickly as possible. If you feel that maybe one-on-one training is a little bit better for you, then you can order blogging lessons from richandrichentrepreneurs.biz via PayPal. I'm going to need at least 2 hours to be able to complete the whole training with you, one-on-one. I'll work with your schedule, and what that means is that if you know you can only do 30 minutes this day, then we'll do the 30 minutes, but just know that you still have another hour and a half of information that you're going to want to be able to get. You can also find me on Facebook at www.facebook.com, richandrichbiz. Now, with all of that out the way, we're going to go ahead and go on with lesson number 2, the layout of your blog. Okay, now one of the important things to remember about the layout is that basically it is going to be working off of whatever template that you chose originally. That template, you're not stuck to it. You can always change it by going into the template again, and you can change it to something else that fits. The reason that you may want to do that, you may find that once you start writing your content and you start adding gadgets, some gadgets look a little bit better with a different format, and so that's the reason for that. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do today, we already know that you have a blog with a title, a web address, and you have your template. We want to continue to develop your blog by working on your layout. So at this time, you can, or later when you actually listened and maybe you want to read the information so you can, follow along, or you can either do it later. You're going to log into your blog using your Gmail account that you set up yesterday. Hopefully you remember your password. That's the most important thing about getting back into your Gmail account. And then you're going to select those 9 squares that are at the top next to your name like we did yesterday. You're going to click on More, and then you'll click on Blogger. Once you've signed in, you're going to look on your left-hand side, and you'll see a link that says My Blogs. You're going to select your blog and select that because you now have a blog on there, so it'll list it. Once you've done that, you'll see that you can, on the left-hand side, you'll be able to click on Layout. And I've included a screenshot for the blog that I'm going to post later on, so if you're more of a visual person, you can see that there. Okay, once we're into layout, we're going to do some gadgets. And what you'll see is that you'll have an option to add a gadget. And these gadgets are really, really wonderful. They give your page a little bit more dynamic look, without you having to know a bunch of code and trying to do the development yourself. So So this is a time for me, I feel like you can be most creative with your layout by adding your gadgets. And, and as you get your content and everything, you're going to learn more and more as you continue to work on your blog. There are several different gadgets that you're able to choose from, and it's up to you. It kind of depends on what if your blog is going to be informational, if it's going to be business, or if it's just going to be your hobby. So there may be some gadgets that you like that, are going to be the things that are going to fit for your blog. But what I've done is I have actually listed the ones that I use on my blogs, and I try to do this consistently with Blogspot. And so the first gadget that I like, you'll see when you click on the Add a Gadget link, you'll see where they have a lot of the ones that they recommend for you. And I like a lot of the ones that they recommend because they're just easy and they're great for beginners. So the first thing that I like is I like the +1 button. This helps visitors to be able to recommend your site content. So that's something that you want to do because you'd like to have people to actually come out to your site, unless, of course, you're just going to make it for your family members and you're going to just give it to them, and, they will recommend as they see fit. The second one that I like is I like Google Plus Followers. And what that does is that if you have a Gmail account, you'll start to, and as you learn your Gmail account and you learn Google, you'll see that there is a community for Google, and there are these Google followers. And so this gadget will put those followers that have joined you there, and so that when people come to your blog, they'll see people that are following you. And typically when you have people following you, it kind of means that they kind of like what you're doing, and so that's important. The other one that I like is I like to be able to translate my pages to the language of the person that's actually coming to the page because, your page, the web is huge. So you're going to have both your people for the United States that are going to be seeing your website or blog, but you'll have people that are outside of the United States that are looking at it too. And you'll have people within the United States that need to translate the blog into their language. And so that's a helpful feature to have. The next one that I like Pages. And the reason I like Pages is because I can kind of tailor what kind of links I want to have on there. You'll notice that on richandrichetrepreneurs.biz, you'll see how I use my pages at the top because one of the things that's on there is the blogging lessons. And you can click on blogging lessons, and it'll tell you exactly, what you need to do and what we're doing. And I was able to create that by using the Pages gadget. The next one that I love, and this is just a way for you to earn from your blog, and we'll go over this more later, is Google AdSense. And I'm just going to be more in a lesson about that later, but you want to add Google AdSense, and we'll talk more. The next one that I like, that there are certain codes that you can get from websites so that you can get the code or the product or whatever promotion is to display on your website. And so I like to have the HTML JavaScript gadget so that you can add that content. I also have a link list on my site because sometimes when you visit sites will allow you to list your blog or your website if you list your blog or website with them. And they usually like to come back, and they usually like it to be on the first page, and they like to come back and they like to verify that you've actually added it. And so I like the link list. The thing about a link list, though, is you always want to go back and you want to verify that your link is still on their site because it'll do you no good if you put your link up there and, the link for your site is gone. And then the last one that I like is I like the blog list. And this is where I list all my blogs. So if you come to one particular blog of mine, you'll see my other blogs listed as well because you never know. Maybe you're interested in business at the time that you come to the site, but I have several different blogs that deal with different content, and so maybe at that time when your reader is on your blog, they may decide that, I'll look at this site as well. So I just make it a practice just to list my sites on all the sites that I have. So those are gadgets that I like. Now, you can move these gadgets around on your layout by clicking on it and dragging it. And when I say click on it and drag it, you kind of keep your hand, once you click, don't lift up your hand. You just kind of want to drag it through that layout where you want it to go. For instance, when I do pages, I like for my pages to come at the top, and so I will make sure to click on that gadget, hold it, and drag it to that area where I want it to be. Now, this is going to be based on the layout of, your template, because, it depends on if you want your pages to go across the page, which I normally like them to do, then you need to have the ability for it to go that way. All right. So the list for gadgets, like I said earlier, it goes on and on. You can definitely, pick and choose and go through the list and find things that work for you and for your blog. That's it. Just go and, have fun with it. Choose some gadgets that you really want to work with. And I will be back tomorrow with Lesson 3. And we're going to actually talk about earning with your blog. And a lot of that is going to have to do with your Google AdSense. So if you're adding Google AdSense, one of the things that you can go ahead and do if you want to kind of be ahead for Lesson 3, go ahead and add 6 of those. So you're going to do add a gadget 6 times for Google AdSense. And it'll make sense once we get into the earning part of it and you see exactly where we're going to be going with those. Once again, I'm going to make all this information that I am talking to you now available on my 2 blogs, so that you can review it at your leisure, and they will be listed there. You can post your questions by doing a comment on either blog, and I will answer those questions as soon as possible. So for now, I am going to sign off, and if you want to contact me or anything like that, just feel free, as I said, to use the blog so that you can get the information that you need. All right, you guys have a great day.